America is ready to get back to work, and FilterBuy is here to help. We're in this together, going the extra mile to deliver clean, indoor air to America's homes and businesses. Safety doesn't have to mean sacrifice. That's why we carry over 600 different types of HVAC air filters up to MERV 13 rating. From country roads to Main Street, we are proud to help serve the communities that make our country great. FilterBuy. Live free, breathe freely.
Let me guess. You're too busy to watch this ad. Just like you were too busy to invest in Bitcoin or Ethereum. Oh, who's a Gucci boo-boo? Who's a Gucci boo-boo? You're a Gucci boo.
catch you if you fall. And if they laugh, then screw them all. And then I catch you off your knees, put you right back on your feet, just so you can take advantage of me. Tell me how's it feel sitting up there, feeling so hard but too far away to hold me. You know I'm the one who put you out there, name in the sky. Does it ever get lonely thinking you can live without me? Live without me. You know I'm the one who put you out there, and don't know why. Tell me how's it feel sitting up there, feeling so hard but too far away to hold me. You know I'm the one who put you out there, name in the sky. Does it ever get lonely thinking you could live without me? Live without me. You know I'm the one who put you out there, and don't know why. Thinking you could live without me. Live without me. You know I'm the one who put you out there, and don't know why. What if we ran away? What if we left today? What if we said goodbye to safe and sound? What if we're hard to find? What if we lost our minds? What if we let them fall behind and never found? And when the lights start flashing like a photo booth, and the stars exploding, we'll be fireproof. My youth is yours, tripping on stars and waterfalls. My youth is yours, run away now with forever. My youth is yours, the truth's so loud it's like my youth is yours. My youth is yours. What if we start to drive? What if we close our eyes, speeding through red lights into paradise? Cause we know time for getting old. What a body, it's on our souls. Cross our fingers, here we go. And when the lights start flashing like a photo booth, and the stars exploding, we'll be fireproof. My youth is yours, tripping on stars and waterfalls. My youth is yours, run away now and forever. My youth is yours, the truth's so loud it's like my youth is yours.
Maybe you're a day trader. Maybe you just dabble. Maybe you've already cornered the market on soybeans. The question is, do you have what it takes to...
What's going on, everybody? Welcome, welcome. If you guys can hear me, just throw one in the chat real quick. Awesome, awesome. All right, give me 20 seconds. Let me just close out of the shenanigans. Yeah, I've got a lot of work tonight. I've only taken 2 setups today, and you could clearly see my desktop. These are all the screenshots that I've taken today from the two setups that we took. So yeah, it is what it is. Let me pull up desktop 1. Bam. Okay. So welcome, everybody. We're going to get started. We're going to get right into it. There's actually something that's shaping up. Let me move this chat down. UJ is actually shaping up pretty nicely. And I know for most of you guys in our group, yeah, most of you in our group, we've been trying to get at UJ today. So I'm gonna go into it. I did take a really light risk entry. You know, potentially we saw the distribution, we wanted to get into it. Then it showed potential signs of reaccumulation that just failed and broke us all at break even. So, but we'll go from there. S&P. Yeah, we'll look at S&P. I'll be honest, like I don't like to trade the indices right now. So, you know, I'm sure it's doing its thing, but let's get into it. We'll touch base on what we have as a watch list that we're looking at for tonight, and then we'll go from there. All right. The first thing I want to start with is UJ, right? First thing I want to start with is UJ. So, and I'm going to kind of just run through and kind of give you guys an idea of how we break it down from a top down and then go from there. All right. You guys will hear me say it 1,000 times that structure is the key, right? It's the be all end all. If you're having trouble with structure before you really get into anything else, before you start diving into the low time frame stuff, you really need to nip that in the bud and understand what structure is doing. Okay. So real quick, let me go on a clean chart here, and we'll just do this one here. I thought I had it marked up already. Ooh. Okay. Yeah, we'll just do it from here. All right. How does one master structure? Honestly, it's just you gotta keep going over and over and over with it. And I'll be honest, like I don't consider myself a master of structure at all, because I'll tell you right now, probably 90% of all my losses are because I misread structure. All right. I thought I already did this on one of them, but give me a sec. Oh, here it is right here. Okay. So, you know, we'll go from it. Yeah, you can drop charts. Yeah, go ahead and drop them, and then I'll scroll back up and we'll look at them. All right. I'll be honest, if it's not on my watch list already, I mean, we'll take a look at it, but if we haven't done a top down on it, I really want to jump into it, because I'm not going to look like at a 5-minute chart and try to take a buy off something that I don't know what we're looking at. But yeah, we'll drop it, because if chances are, if we have it, we'll take a look and go from there. All right. So the first thing I always like to do, I'll be honest, I go to the line chart, because the line chart for me is so much easier to read structure. Okay. You can, just by looking at this, everyone should know that we are extremely bearish on all time fronts, right? So on UJ weekly, we are bearish. Okay. The daily, all right, the daily, we are bearish. Okay, actually, the way I'm looking at it, and you can see, I'm just walking it down. We are bearish. All right, this on the 4-hour and the daily for me is maintaining bearish structure up here. All right, and when you're looking at it, I mean, you could just follow along with me, right? Low, high. This is our low, our high, our low, our high. All right, so all this really was essentially is the next leg down, and on the lower time frames was just the pullback. All right. Ideally, going into yesterday, I was looking for sells on it. I was actually talking to Victor about it yesterday, and I wanted to ultimately look in I had a 1-hour candle point of interest. and it was ideally in this area right here was where I wanted to see. All right, I wanted to see our reaction in it. I wanted to see our reaction right in here. Okay, and obviously you could see we've gone into a nice distro from it. Um, and let me just pull up. Yeah. We'll and we're gonna go into the Wyckoff on it. All right. But the key to Wyckoff, I'll tell you right now, I know a lot of people are trying to jump on it and stuff. The key to it is understanding what each point is doing. All right. If you can't understand what each point is doing, um, you're doing yourself a disservice. All right. Let me just see if I have it here. Bear with me. I'm just going down. These are my screenshots that I took earlier. All right, so this is walking it down. 5 minute in there. Okay, now just looking at this screen here, you could potentially say that this is a schematic, right? I'd be looking for a spring down in here. But before I even look at this 4-hour schematic, I need to get a break of structure. And you can see we're just riding this trend line down, right? So you can say that this is just a simple descending wedge accumulation schematic. But until we get the break of structure, until we break this high up here, right? So right now, this is what's holding bearish structure. Until we get a break above that, there is no confirmation for the schematic, right? Essentially, we can just keep trading down this descending wedge, right? So for those of you that are new to Wyckoff, that's, I covered this not too long ago, maybe about a week ago, where that's why on retail, retail traders or the retail mindset, that's why some of these strategies work, right? That's why like a head and shoulders pattern, right? That's why it works. Because it is a Wyckoff schematic, but you have to be in the proper phase, right? And we'll talk about the phases. This really isn't a huge education class. It's more of an analysis that we're looking at. But as long as you're in phase, B going into C. So if this is your up thrust, your UT, right, you would have price action here, right? So you would have, your buying climax, you'd have your secondary tests, your up thrust after distribution, and then after a break of structure, right, you're going to get your test of your UTAD to then drop. So that's when those times when a head and shoulders works, right? Same thing on a descending wedge, right? When we have a descending wedge, you have your preliminary support, your selling climax, your secondary test in phase B. When you get to phase C is when you have a spring or a shakeout, a break of structure, your test, and that is our entry right here to take this higher. So all these schematics.
Mike,
yeah, go ahead.
sorry, man. Can you turn off that bell, the chime, when every time somebody comes in and goes out of the?
You know how to do it, bro? I don't know how to do it.
I don't know how to do it either. I've never heard it before. This is the first time.
Yeah, honestly, I don't even hear it because I've got 2 kids at home and I got a dog who's barking over there. So to me, it's
Okay.
not even.
I've never heard it, so I'm.
Dude, I don't know. How
Seriously, nobody could hear it. I just see people in the. Okay, I'm gonna figure it out, I guess.
Yeah. No worries, man.
I'm
no
the
worries.
only one. All right, cool.
All right,
Sorry.
so let's just keep going on this, man. All right, so this is actually right here. So this is the screenshot that I took on the 29th, right? So a couple days ago, I took this, and this is where I wanted to see our reaction, right? I ideally wanted to see us trade up into here, get a really nice distribution, right? And then take it down to target either make a new low, right? Because this is the previous lower low, make a new low, or to see if we have a reaction in here, potentially that would be where we're going to go higher, right? So, obviously having realistic goals and targets, but that is ultimately my first target is right here. Whether we can go lower or not is up to it. Okay. You got to log into Zoom's website. All right. Yeah. So no worries. Yeah, Victor's going crazy. Victor can't handle that, man. Yeah. So this is what I was looking at, right? This is how I was trying to see and prepare for what we were going to get into UJ, and it was just a waiting game, right? All right. So on UJ, you can see that let me see if I have a better schematic. Here it is, right here. So this is the schematic that we started seeing last night, or yesterday, going into tonight, right? So we started to build this schematic, right? I identify this is our, oh, come on, there we go. This is our preliminary supply right here, okay, right in here. And that was confirmed by, I need at least a 38.2 retracement on the fib, right, from low to high, and that does qualify for it. And then we go ahead and start our buying climax into our automatic reaction, and this establishes our trading range. We get into a secondary test, a minor sign of weakness. This is our up thrust, right, which took out the secondary test. We created another secondary test right here. And this is where things got a little dicey this morning, because we did get this really nice break of structure, and we had a creek, right? So when we broke this to the high side and then took this high to break structure to go and make a higher high, that's where a little confusion kind of came in, right? It was, we all got into a buy actually off of this 5-minute candle in here, right? We got a nice reaction, but ended up breaking even on it. All right. What does PAY stand for? PSY, preliminary supply, right? Preliminary supply. But ultimately this for me confirmed a UTAD, up thrust after distribution. And our test was right in here. And we go to the 1 minute. I'll definitely show you where it's, where I was looking. We came back in, tested out of that candle. We made a new low, right? Made a new low. I'm expecting this right here as an entry, right? So we'll get into it. I will, let me clear out the drawings and let's get into it. Yeah. So just all you got to do is when you're looking for the PSY, hold on, clear all drawings. Bam, there we go. All right. So when you're looking for the PSY or the PS, it's just from the previous low to the previous high, but it needs to be at least for me to conclude that it is a valid preliminary supply. It needs to be a minimum of 38.2. All right. So just real quick, when we get into the price action on it, right? When we get into this price action, oh, son of a gun, it didn't save. It did not save. All right, so we'll just redraw it. I started this over, and I guess TradingView did not save my drawing. All right, no biggie. We'll just draw it up. All right, bear with me. So this is where we attempted to sell it from here. So I got the break even on the sell, and I got the break even on the buy. So, all right, we'll just draw it up real quick. Let's go to the 15. No, the 5. All right. So this is our UTAD. Come on. This is our UTAD. All right. Now, when we look into the price action, this is what I have found to be the test right here. Okay. And the reason I have it as the test, and I'm going to show you guys. LPSY. I can delete this alert. Okay. So get down to the 1 minute. Dude, remove me from the host for now. I'm kidding. I got you, man. Hold on. Let me find you. Where are you? Oh, there you are. Bam. Hold on. Okay. I took care of it, Victor, man. Sounds good. All right. So like when we get into here, you're going to see the jingle bells. So you're going to see the price action that we had, right? So essentially we had small time frame distribution in here. Price did take this low, but now this is, for me, this is 1 minute structure holding right here. So as price breaks down and takes this low, we are now confirmed bearish on the 1 minute. All right. We've confirmed this on the 1 minute time frame, and this essentially is the candle that price plays off of right here. All right. So it's that 1 minute candle right here that confirms as the test. Okay. And then from here, you can just see how price breaks this low right here. This is the new lower low. We make a new low and we come back up and we test. All right. We test right into this previous high right here. Okay. You can just see how price evenly marks its way down. All right. We test out of this, just keep making lower lows and lower highs. All right. So this was the previous structure on the LPSY. And now what I am personally looking at is this 5-minute candle right here as the entry. All right, for a potential another second entry to take it down. All right. The risk that I'm looking at is just like this. So that's the 5-minute open that I'm looking at. All right. And again, when we're looking at the risk, right? When we're looking at the risk, we have to see, okay, well, what is it mitigated out of? Okay. Essentially everything that I can see from here is mitigated out of. This right here is potentially where our risk lies. So you can ideally go from this base of structure here, or if you just want to add the 1 pip just to be safe and cover yourself above that. All right. That's ideally what I'm going to be doing. It's something like a 5 pip stop loss, like a 4.6, 4.4. So with your spread, it's like a 5 pip stop loss. That's what I'm looking at. All right. And ideally, this is what I'm looking for, right to that wick. So 3.5, add your spread. And then, like I said, my first targets are going to be essentially probably into this gaggle of price action in here. That's going to be my first area. I want to see how we react. All right. Ideally, I do want to take it down to this 4-hour open, and I want to take, yeah, we have equal lows. Absolutely. Yep. So, bam. Okay. So ideally, I do want to make a new low. All right. But at the very minimum, that's where I'd have an alert to start to see how price action reacts there. All right. Yep. And if you guys are having issues with, with understanding Wyckoff, yeah, Zach McDonald has a great website. Yeah, somebody posted it in the group there, and okay, yeah, someone threw the Discord in there too. Awesome. All right. Okay, perfect. So yeah, ideally, this is what I am looking at. All right, for you, Jay. Victor, do you have anything to comment on it? Or are you good?
Yeah, just one thing that
ahead.
we probably want to still continue looking at.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just go into the 1 hour. Same. Let's look at the schematic from a 1 hour perspective. I just
Yep.
want to point something out.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so yeah, just stretch it out. Yeah. Okay, so this, like Mike mentioned, this is an odd scenario, and the reason this is an odd scenario is because we have this point right here. This point right here is giving us bullish structure. So if we're only looking from a pure structure perspective without looking at it from a schematic perspective, we are inside a complex pullback on a 1 hour bullish leg that's coming down. So for all intents and purposes, we're technically still bullish. We're not bearish yet. We are still bullish. And the reason being is that this high caused this low, which caused this high. So we go bang, bang, right? Until this point in structure gets violated, we're bullish. Now, if we're going to go now, let me delete all of my, okay. Now, if we go into, let's say, the 15-minute time frame, we can see that price is actually acting, so for the time being, as a complex pullback. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and whatever, 5.
Yeah, there we go.
Right. So we're kind of getting that 5 leg. So just personally for me, if I was to sell here, I would be looking for the potential hedge entry in here, potentially. Okay, and only if we get that clean accumulation, 1 minute break of structure, there's a really clean candle. And I believe you have it marked up on your other chart because you and I talked about it.
Yep.
Right inside this wick.
Yeah, I just got it. Hold on.
Yeah,
because it's on the other one. It's no point in going and finding it, but
so just kind of playing devil's advocate because this is a spring. We never got a shakeout, but we did get a spring. Now, yeah, there it is. There it is. And I've confirmed that on Oanda. I've confirmed it on multiple brokers. That candle is the same.
Yeah.
That has not been mitigated. So I've seen multiple reaccumulation schematics, even though it still seems like a reaccumulation to me. I've seen multiple reaccumulation schematics where we get a spring, we get a break of structure to the upside, and then we get a shakeout. However, if we do get the shakeout, we have to turn bearish until our creek gets broken,
Yes.
right? So just kind of all options on the table, but for all intents and purposes, while this is looking like a really nice distribution, we are going to continue being bullish until this point in structure gets broken.
Yeah, and I agree. I agree. I don't have an order limit set on it yet. And I would potentially, depending on how, if we can just linger a little bit longer, if we get into Asian session like 8:30, maybe in an hour,
Yeah.
that would be the hedge position. Buy
And-
from there up, and then determine if we can take the sell, because higher time frame we are bearish, so we would be
Yep.
going with higher time frame analysis. Obviously, the fresh, right, the fresh structure is this new high right here. If that
Yeah.
didn't happen, we are bearish on every time frame,
Yeah.
so
The
Yeah.
other thing that I particularly like on entries is when we get those equal lows, FU candle into that sweeping liquidity, and then break a structure to follow, right? So equal lows, FU, this is a schematic of its own. I mean, this could be easily an accumulation schematic that we're looking at, and just a continuation. And then you know how we get the break of structure, and then we get the full mitigation, and then we follow with the bullish trend. But like I said, this is one of those interesting scenarios where we have to keep in mind that both outcomes could be potentially
right. And
probable.
to be honest, this is one of those scenarios where if you understand how to hedge, this is the best opportunity to hedge, because
Exactly.
And the way I would play it is get into the buy, get to break even, get in the sell, go to break even, let the best man win. You know, that there's no guessing in that at that point. But yeah, so in a perfect world, right? In a perfect world, I want the break of structure to happen first before I contemplate just putting a sell limit in. But you do have to keep in mind, right? We do have to keep in mind that we are going to create a creek, right? So if we do identify this break of structure, but then come back up, we are potentially going to jump our creek. All right. So that's just something that I'm watching. All right. It for me at the end of the day, I'm going to just wait and see how we react. If we start to slow down, and then come into this, I may just take the buy up, and then set up for the sell. I do have my alert up here for the sell. I want to see, one, if we did break structure or not. All right. The difference between a spring and a shakeout is absolutely nothing. All right. They do the same thing. Just you're going to hear us, like potentially on reaccumulation. This is the spring down here, and if this is reaccumulation, this would be the shakeout. All right. And all it's doing is it's accomplishing the same thing, right? It's enticing both participants in the market, right? This enticed anyone who is looking to sell the breakout to get into a sell or a break and retest. It also caused fear for buyers in here, right? Whether it took their stop losses, hit their break even. You're going to hear a lot in Wyckoff and in smart money, you'll hear strong hands and weak hands, right? That's where that transfer between weak hands to strong hands occurs. All right. What is the buy?
It's essentially like in an ideal world, like the reason this schematic is a little bit confusing is because, so we have our three thrusts up. Now, a typical schematic, if you guys know, the buyer's climax, you have an automatic rally. The secondary test is below, not above our buyer's climax. This is how we ideally want to see it. And we want to see a sign of weakness right after the secondary test happens. Now, when we have a reaccumulation, we have three thrusts up and two thrusts down. Now, this is weird, where we had a thrust down, and what we're supposed to see is a shakeout to lead into a break of structure, and then this is where we buy mitigation and continue to move up, right? So you have a spring right here, and you have your shakeout where the last of the weak-handed buyers get shaking out of the market, and then the market reverses. We did not get a shakeout.
And that's what we tried to accomplish this morning during New York session, right? We had this shakeout down here, right? We had our creek. We didn't get that second thrust down and then the jump of the creek. So when we took the buy off of this there was nothing wrong with taking the buy, in my opinion, because we were bullish. We made a new high. We got a really strong, nice reaction off of that candle that we bought off. Right. I mean, it was enough for everybody to go break even. It sucks. It's one of those things where, you know, you're gonna fight the market every now and then, and that's what we were doing. So UJ, that's ideally what I'm looking at. Those are my, you know, parameters. The point of interest is off of 1 minute. There's equal lows down here, and there's a 1 minute candle that is unmitigated. So that's the point of interest, right? All right. And an FU candle, you say that out loud, man, when it takes, so an FU candle is you'll have liquidity, right? And I mean, it's pretty simple. So ideally, this is the institutional FU candle, right? Because what happened here, we found resistance, right? So there's a lot of liquidity in the form of orders, right? People are selling the market from here because they're always thinking, oh, look, resistance, resistance, resistance. And then what happens? We get a rally and the market FUs and takes everybody out of this market right here. All right. So that's what an FU candle is. All right. If you've ever traded support and resistance and you get into a market, you know, off of support and resistance, and then the market comes and then takes your stop loss and then turns around and goes in your direction, that candle that did that is your FU candle. All right. Okay. So perfect. That is, so that's UJ. All right. I think I think it's pretty clean as far as understanding what we're going to do or what I'm going to do with it. So we're going to move on. All right. We're going to move on. Let me clean that up.
Mike, let me just repeat. I just want to answer Sam one more time.
Yeah.
Look, oh my God, I can't annotate. The buyer's climax, when you get an automatic rally, the secondary test typically trades lower than the buyer's climax. Okay. And then where you get the sign of weakness is the automatic rally ever so slightly gets broken, not significantly, slightly. So your secondary test trades below the buyer's climax and your sign of weakness trades below the automatic rally. And then you get the up thrust to the upside, and then it comes back to the trading range, up thrust after distribution, and then you break the trading range by breaking structure. So that's what I said.
Hold on,
That's
real
it.
quick. What is this? No. Yeah. I went over this. Yeah. You're right. I'm also contemplating this as well, right? I've got this, and that's why I'm looking to make that spring. You know, before anything, remember what we were talking about earlier is this is holding come on. This is holding structure. That's maintaining bearish structure. All right. So until that gets broken, this is all just bearish. All right. That's all just bearish. Okay.
Might want to fix that schematic though. The secondary test should be where the equal lows with the selling climax.
Yeah. Here, I'll show you mine.
Right.
Hold on. I got mine here. Hold on. All right. I think it was on forex.com. There it is.
Yeah. Not only do you have like 7,000 charts, but you also have 7,000 markups for every single pair.
Listen, bro. You got to, insane, man. You got to. Yeah. So just to go over, like the higher time, right? The higher bias is potentially accumulation, right? And I've got points of interest in here with equal lows right here. So that's why I'm expecting the spring, right? You know, I'm expecting the spring. All right. So that's ideally what I want to see us do. Come here, spring, break structure, test. And this will be, you know, if I was going to ever trade off a 4 hour, that'd be the entry right there. Okay. So yeah, that's what we're looking at, right? That's what we're looking at. All right.
And then
only Wyckoff. I'll tell you what, hit me up on like message me later, and I did a little video the other day, and I can just send you the video so you can get a better understanding of Wyckoff. All right. Just message me on IG or in Discord, and what I'll do is I'll put it up on YouTube for like a day or two, just so you guys can watch it. All right. Yeah. What's up, Victor? What did you say?
I just wanted to say that everybody needs to also understand that where we are currently trading is in no man's land. So there's a lot of indecision because we haven't broken structure to the downside. We haven't given an intent to say that we want to buy or we want to sell. Okay. We're just kind of trying to decide what it is that we're going to do. And this is part of the reason why I think we're seeing the kind of price action that we currently are.
Yeah.
Because we can be buyers or we can be sellers. And
Yeah, absolutely. It's here. I'll throw it in the thingamajigger. Wait, give me a second here. All right. So, hey, real quick, Victor? What's the next one you want to look at? Just while I'm pulling this up.
what, pairwise?
Yeah, pairwise.
Oh man, my watch list is tough right now because
All right, because
I mean you look at EG if you
well
want to.
EG or EG or ECAD. I know you hate ECAD, bro. But hear me out. Ready? Look. Let's look at ECAD real quick. Hold on. Let's look at ECAD real quick. Hear me out.
I've been looking at it all day.
Hear me out. Hold on. Because I just got my alert, right? Remember the scenario I said 3 weeks ago that I wanted to play out? We're getting there.
I'm looking at it. I know. I know exactly.
We're getting there. All right. So real quick, this is an example of an FU candle, guys, right? So let's come over here. Let's go to the 10-minute, because the 10-minute to me is the FU candle. All right. Hold on. Here we go. All right. So when we come back here on whatever it was, October 29th, okay, we had equal highs, right? You had clean equal highs here. And then you see the market comes up and creates a third equal high right here. These are triple highs, right? 1, 2, and 3. And then the market trades down, and then we get that thrust up. Immediately at this sign is where we see the market turn around and just start to sell off. So this is considered a buy to sell candle by an institution. All right. So that's what we're looking at. All right. Obviously I had the 10-minute open marked off. So that's just the point of interest for me. So this needs to be mitigated out of, right? The market needs to return to close out this buy to sell so that they can take the market in the direction they want to go, right? Essentially, they've been in drawdown ever since that point, right? That buy position has been in drawdown. Okay. So fast forward to where we're at right now.
Mike,
yeah, go ahead.
Do you wanna just walk structure quickly so everybody knows why we're trying to sell from there?
Yeah.
Hold on. ECAD could be a little bit more confusing.
Hold on. Let's go to I think I have it marked. Hold on. I think I have it marked on a different one. All right. No. Okay. So let's just do the weekly, right? Because the weekly's I think it's easier to show the weekly. All right. So on the weekly,
maybe daily.
Yeah. I think daily would be cleaner.
Go daily. Yeah. Like that last leg, it's
hold on.
Yeah, just
okay. So essentially, right, when we're looking at the structure and all of this right here, okay, obviously this was the bottom, okay, this is the bottom. Essentially we came up, we made a new high, all right, and then we've been stuck ever since. This is going to be our low. This is going to be our high. All right. Now, all of this is a ton of money that we've been trying to sell since May, right? You could see down there, there is a lot of liquidity sitting there. All right. And when we come in to this area right here, right, you can just see how the market has been cleanly walking itself down, right? So we come in, this is all structure right here, break structure here, right? So now this, I'm just going to go fast, but you can see, all right, at this point here is where we break structure. Now this is the low, right? This is our high, low, high. Then we come back down here, okay? This is what's maintaining ultimately bearish structure right here, okay? So you can see that this, and I know I went fast, but you can see, I'm going to try to mark it, but this right here was the previous lower low. Okay. This was the pullback. And then we made a new low, right? So the new low is right here. All right. So in between these 2 points is our trading range. And all this is our pullback, right? This is our pullback. So what we're looking for is obviously price to come all the way back into the most, for our case, the most premium price possible, right? That 10-minute open to then sell off and make a new low. All right. That's how we're looking at this. All right. And hopefully, I mean, hopefully you kind of can see that. All right. I know it kind of looked, it looked a lot of scribbly scrabbly stuff, but ultimately when we had this as our range, we made a new low, and now this is just the pullback. All right.
If you can clear your drawings and just
Yeah.
draw it like this,
Hold on.
because I know how you're looking at it, but
Bam.
just draw it like this. 1, 2.
There you
Sorry,
go.
guys. Oh my God, that was crazy. What the hell? Okay, well, anyways, I meant to draw it to here. 3, 4, 5, and now we're coming into 6 to go down into 7. I don't know. I hope that makes sense for everybody.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're just walking it down here. Look
Yeah.
right here. Right.
There.
Okay.
That's it.
It's
Thank
just
you.
walking it down. That's it. All right. As long as we don't take this high here, we're still bearish.
Mhm.
Okay. It's that simple. So that's why we're looking for the sell. Obviously, the guys in our Discord group know that I was trying to take the buy so I can hedge into the sell, but it is what it is. No biggie. It didn't want to play nice. But yeah, so that's where we are with ECAD. And it just so happens that I personally have been waiting for this thing for 3 weeks. And we're finally at the place where I wanted to see us. Okay. So we are coming into this area right here. And obviously what I want to look for is I want to look for for signs of distribution, right? Let me just clear all this out because that didn't happen. But yeah, I want to see signs of distribution in here. All right. And that's something that I would potentially look for during London session. And if you just wanted to take a limit order, right, which I mean, personally, I don't want to take a limit order because the limit order is going to be like 26 pips, right? Because I got to cover the wick. So we're talking a 26 pip stop loss,
There is an extreme with a hold on. There is an extreme which I'm contemplating putting a limit on. I
Let's
shared
see.
it with you today. It's got a 5 pip stop loss.
It's the doji
'Cause
candle, right?
It's inside the wick that FU'd from the previous lower high that made the lower low. So inside that, the very top
this one
of
right
the
here.
wick.
Right?
Oh,
This
hold
one right
on,
here.
I'm not looking at the screen right now.
That one right there.
Are you on the 1 minute? Yeah. Okay, that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, I mean,
It's the only one. If price reaches up there,
it's up to you because it does have, right? We do have the imbalance,
Yeah.
we do have that imbalance in there.
And it's the extreme, which is likely to get a good reaction.
Yeah. I mean, I can tell you, me personally, let's see. So you're looking at this. Yeah. To be honest, that schematic to me is not clean. It's not, like the trading range is all jacked up. Yeah. I'm personally at this point, like I was looking at it as well. Like on one of my other charts, I had the schematic like that, but after it just fell apart and looked ugly, what
time frame was that
on the hour? I mean, I have it like here. I had it. I don't like it, so I'm not using it. It's yeah, right here. Yeah. See, I had it. So to me, listen, one of the things I can tell you about schematics, right? If you got to start squinting your eyes and turning your head to the side to start looking to say, maybe, don't, right? Just don't. I started to see maybe we can play something. I was looking, well, maybe we can get, like an accumulation into redistribution on it. But no, for me, I'm, and honestly, the only reason I was looking at it was from this point, I wanted to get a small time frame from down here to buy it up. That's the only reason I was looking at it like this. All right.
Open up my chart, Mike. I just shared it.
Yeah. Hold on.
You and I talked about this. I could have sworn you had the same thing marked up as I did.
Hold on. I do. It's on my other chart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So everybody could see how, like, it's just something you have to train your eye into eventually. But this is where it gets weird with like price action.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing about this was, so when I had it marked up, the reason I didn't take an entry off, well, one, it's on the 4 hour, but this right here, okay, is your structure, right? So we spring down. In order for me to take an entry off of this into like potentially the test, right? Because that's what happened here. This candle tested our spring. I would have needed price to break above first and then come to confirm bullishness, right? And we just never did it. And not only that, I wasn't even really looking for a 4-hour bullish structure change. Because it's just, for me, it's not worth it. Like the stop loss would have been massive just trading it off of this, right?
I had this marked up. I never put a limit order on it, but we did react perfectly
Yeah.
from here.
Yep.
Because
Yeah,
we
yeah.
walked structure. It's decisional, right? Decisional structure in here. Right, this point, decisional into here, and then that's where we break out, right? So it perfectly came into the decisional and then made the move up.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And like I said, so what I'm personally waiting for, like I'm not really looking to take a limit order off of it. I mean, maybe if you want to put that 1 minute in there, sure. I mean, you're talking, it's a 3.3 pip, even if you put, an eighth of a percent, whatever,
Yeah,
an
it's
eighth of a
still worth
percent
it.
for you. Yeah. It's still worth it because the risk to reward would be massive, just to give you an idea, right? Just to give you an idea to just take it to potentially where we may see a reaction, right? Is 320 pips. I mean, you're talking
100 to 1, bud.
Yeah.
100 to 1.
There you go. You can join the 100 to 1 club.
The
all right?
100 to 1 club. Let's
So,
go.
Yeah. I haven't done it yet. The most I ever got was a 1 to 97. But yeah. So that would be worth the limit order, put an eighth of a percent on it. In my case,
Yeah.
$125 and let it ride. But what I'm personally going to be looking for is when we get a little higher, I want to start to see us build distribution, right? I want to see this right here occur in this box tonight. All right. Show the 1 minute candle. Yeah. Just go right back here. It's right in here. All right. Just go to replay mode. You can go to the 1 minute time frame and it's that 1 minute candle right there. Okay. Yeah. Okay. There you go. You answered, Victor. Good. Yeah. So what I'd be looking for again is this right here. I want to see us now on a lower time frame, a 15 minute, a 5 minute, a 1 minute, whatever it is, right? I want to see us now create that change of structure or the change of character, start to create our range, right? Minor sign of weakness, maybe an up thrust, test back down to the range, create our UTAD, break structure, test out, and then down. Okay. That's what I want to see us do in here. Okay. I want to see the clear distribution happen in here, ideally during London session. Okay. That's what I want to see. All right. And if we can get that, game on, I'll be selling from the test. All right. I'll be selling from the test and, potentially this will be the big winner. All right. Obviously my first area that, potentially I want to start looking at is all of these, equal lows in here. Definitely see how we react in it. But ideally, if we get a good runner from here, this is coming all the way down. Okay. The point that, okay. Yeah. You got it, Victor. Awesome. Yeah. So that's what I'm looking for on ECAT. So I would, I have my alert set right here at 5640, which is just under the 10-minute candle. Right now is not the time for EuroCAD to really move. So I just want to, I would definitely have you guys mark it up, take a look at it and, wait for the distribution during London or potentially that London crossover into New York. All right.
Hey, just also to kind of simplify, guys, you guys don't really need like this picture perfect distribution. Just make sure you follow structure where the price is compressing higher highs and higher lows, and just wait for that 1 or 5 minute break and catch the mitigation. That's it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
No
Yeah.
need for
Here,
once
like,
you're inside the zone. It's that simple.
Yeah. It's that the first break of structure you're going to get like on that 5 minute is going to be key. All right. I was just trying to see if I can find an example. Here we go.
I actually,
There you go.
if we have
So
time.
you don't even have to label it all, right? Just when you start to see price compressing, right? When you start to see price compressing and you get that FU candle that takes the highs, right? Just wait for the break of structure. All right. On the break of structure, okay, when price drops below the previous lower high, find something that you want to play off of, right? In this case, this was a 10-minute candle. Play off that 10-minute candle that held the volume. Boom, stop loss above the high. and take it, write it down. Okay.
I think if we were to go through later on through what was it, EA?
Yeah.
I think EA was a perfect example for everybody to
Okay.
see once
Yeah,
we
yeah.
go through the watch list if we have time.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So that's that's what I'm looking for. Euro news tonight and CAD unemployment claims on Friday. You don't trade the news. Yeah, yeah. No, no. I mean, I don't trade the news event, but I position myself for the news event. So like, I understand that they're gonna manipulate the market to go to a certain aspect. So obviously, if there's Euro news tonight and CAD news on Friday, or tomorrow or whatever, I'm potentially going to be looking at Euro and CAD news or Euro and CAD pairs, because that's what's going to move the market. I'd rather be in a trade that goes 100 pips than a trade that goes 20 pips. So all right, so that's Euro CAD. That's what I want to see, right? That's what I want to see happen. And any sell limit to put for UC, UCAD. Man, I haven't looked at UCAD. I'm pretty confident you could put a sell limit anywhere on UCAD and you'll be all right. I think UCAD's coming down. So yeah. All right. So that's UCAD or EuroCAD here. All right. The next one I wanted to look at was, we could talk about AJ real quick. I know it's still in play for me. So AJ is actually, I just got the alert on it. So we are creating, okay, good. We are moving a little higher here, which is what I wanted to see. What's the difference between the two? Oh, all right. They're the same damn thing. Okay. So ideally, this is what I want to see happen, right? This is what I want to see happen. I want to see, the schematic is pretty clean here, right, on AJ. And I want to see us now trade above this up thrust. All right. Trade above the up thrust, just like you see here. And then once that happens, what I need is now I need us to break structure, okay, in order for me to take an entry off the test, right? So let this sucker go up, wait for the structure break, all right? Wait for the structure break. When that happens, I want to identify the candle I want to play off of, right? It's pretty easy to see the candle if you know what you're looking for, but just play off that candle. And my targets, right? My targets are going to be pretty short-lived. I want to take it down into this area here, which is just the 4-hour open. All right. The 4-hour open is one of my targets, where I potentially want to see accumulation. Or Victor found a 2-minute candle down here. All right. At 75.35, right? That is pretty much the last area where price ended up breaking structure to the upside. Okay. So these are the two areas that I'm going to be looking at. And Victor noted we have equal lows here. So this is going to be a sell to buy scenario for me. Ideally, AJ is extremely bullish on all the time frames. The only reason I'm counter trend trading it off the schematic is because we're getting a clean schematic. All right. That is the only reason I'm doing it. On the 1 hour. Yeah, no. See, right. Yeah. So like, does this, let me ask you that right there, all of this doesn't make sense to me. You know what I mean? Like you want to establish a trading range, right? The whole concept of this is that the institutions or institutions that it's initiating the schematic, they're doing it to see if they can garner enough interest to take this down. That's the whole reason they're doing a schematic. So what they're doing is they are placing essentially limits, buys and sells, and hedging, right? They're hedging the position to cover that so that they don't lose any money. And if you're getting this in the schematic, that's telling me that there's no interest from sellers to take the market lower. So if this is how you see the schematic, then the schematic has failed. All right. To me, it's not worth the schematic at all. All right. That's why I moved, like I have my schematic into this area here because it's honestly a cleaner schematic. Right. I said this the other day to somebody, when you're drawing up your schematics, think of yourself as being in grade school. And it's an art project. And if you came home and showed this schematic to your parents, would they display it on the refrigerator, right? If it doesn't look clean, don't, it's not going to entice. Come on, what the heck? There we go. I think my mouse is dying. Right? It's not going in, it's not going to really entice the, the interest that they're wanting to do, right? So at this point, what's happening in this alleged upthrust after distribution is they are now taking all the weak sellers out of the market. Everybody that's been saying, oh, look, sell AJ from here, we're at resistance, we're at resistance, we're at resistance, is now going to go and take out all of these sellers out of the market. And they're also going to be enticing buyers with the strong candle closure above this range, right? This zone, and potentially like a break and retest kind of scenario for them. All right. So AJ is getting pretty close for me for confirmations. I would just need, again, I would need us to close above here, and then I would need a break of structure, right? I would ultimately need a break of structure. You gotta, should wait for FU. Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just wait for the break of structure. Yep, that's it. Just wait for the break of structure. How do you differentiate accumulation and reaccumulation, vice versa? All right, so accumulation happens at the bottom of a range. Reaccumulation happens at the top. All right, so reaccumulation starts at distribution, which will then turn into reaccumulation in phase D. Okay, D and E is where you're going to know if it's reaccumulation or not. Same thing in accumulation down here. You'll know if it's redistribution in phase D and E. Okay. All righty. Okay. So AJ, that's honestly, that's only thing I'm waiting on is I just want the confirmations now. Let me just move this to the top. All right. Just wait on the confirmations. And like I said, what I'm going to be looking for is a sell down into potentially my buying areas, which is down here. My first buying area that I'm going to be looking for accumulation to occur is off the daily open into this 4-hour candle. Okay, that's where I'm going to be looking. So ideally, like this is what it's going to look like. All right, if in a perfect world, we're going to get this, come down, I'm going to sell from here. All right, come down into this area here. And if I start to see the compression of price, we get the FU, which is the spring, a break of structure. I'm going to enter here. As soon as I get high enough and outside of the trading range to where I'm at break even, I'm going to completely close out of my sell position. I'll take partials down here, but I'll completely close out of the sell position and then allow this to run up and obviously take profits when I get up to the higher end. All right. But that's ultimately how I'm planning on playing this. Okay. All right. So that is AJ. Does everyone kind of understand AJ? I mean, it's a pretty easy, clean schematic. Let me go look at UJ real quick. Let me just see what happened. Because this is giving me, all right. So, I mean, UJ is pretty close to that sell entry. Again, this is going to be up to you whether or not you want to take it. Technically we are still bullish. Okay. On
Sounds like
the
a nice reaction too.
What's that?
It's a nice reaction that it's having.
Yeah.
From a point of, from our 5-minute point of interest.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yep. Yeah, no worries. Okay. So, all right. So that was AJ. What's the next one you got on your list, bro?
I mean, I don't know. We could talk about GU maybe. It's going to be complicated.
Bro, we can talk about GU. Well, you know what? Hold on real quick. Let's talk about GN because GN's easy. Oh, geez. Hold on. Where's my GN markup? Is it over here? Hold on. GBP NZD.
And GN is compressing hard inside our point of interest.
I personally think it's going to turn into redistro, but we'll see. Dude, are you telling me everything I marked up today for 3 hours is gone? Wow. Well, I have the markup somewhere. I just don't know where the heck it is. But okay. So real quick, let's just go. Man, what a pain in the butt, man. All right, I'm just gonna mark it up real quick. So I'll tell you right now, GN is bearish on every time frame except for the 1 hour. Okay. And the only reason it's not bearish on the 1 hour is because of this change of character right here. Okay. Which is ultimately the start of our schematic. Okay. So we are in a potential accumulation schematic. All right. No, it's automatically saved. Like I always have it on autosave. Yeah. It's just TradingView does this crap sometimes where it keeps this. You see how it keeps us going in a cycle and a cycle and a cycle and a cycle. It's been acting up all day today. So yeah, it's annoying, man. They're really, look at that. It's all right now. I just saved it. But yeah. Anyway, so we're in a clean schematic. All right. Now whether or not this is going to hold, who knows? But that's going to be ultimately our points right here. All right. This would be for my purpose. I'm considering this our secondary test in phase B. All right. This is our trading range. All right. And you can see we're at the top end here of the trading range. So ideally, what I would be waiting for is either a spring with a break of structure and a test to take this higher. And if I was going to take it higher, it's going to be very short lived, right? It would be into like potentially like maybe these highs, these equal highs up here. Okay. Or what I would probably be looking for is a redistribution where we get a shakeout and then we start to trade up into like this area, or hold on, I kind of screwed that up, but where we would trade into potentially that area right there of imbalance, where we have this candle here. All right. And in that case, we have our ice, wait for the break of the ice, the test, which is the entry on redistribution to sell it down. Okay. That's kind of like my point of interest right here. And if we do that, if we trade up, create that trend line, right? Create that trend line. And again, for like retail, like terminology, that's when the trend line works, right? When you get that break and retest of the trend line, it's only when you're in phase D of a schematic. All right. But that's what I see on GN. All right. If you look at the weekly, the daily, the 4 hour, we are bearish. We've been bearish for so flipping long. All right.
And we're in a distro.
Yeah. And on the higher time frame, was it the daily or the 4 hour? Daily, right?
It's
Or
really
weekly.
clear on the daily. You have
Yeah,
the equal lows.
So
then you're
here,
buying.
yeah. So you can just see here, this entire thing here is distribution on the daily time frame. All right. So yeah, this is and that's where it's coming, right? I mean, we're coming for that without a doubt. All right. So I anticipate this coming lower. The accumulation would just be to get a better area to sell from up in the higher end. Okay. But ultimately that's
Now here's one to keep an eye out for. Not saying a buy right now, but if price does come back, there's a really nice candle into the 4 hour range in here. I 99.9% guarantee we're going to sell off from this point, and we're going to make, this is what we're going to come and make.
Hold on. Bear with me. Let's see. You said on the 4 hour?
Yeah, if you look on the 4 hour, where? Hold on, annotate, clear. Yeah.
You talking about that one?
No. Compress the chart a bit.
Hold on.
Compress.
Oh, you're talking about this one?
Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
Because
okay.
here, I'll show you. If you look, we reacted off of the previous low, structural low.
Yep.
And then we made this reaction, and then we broke structure here. Once again, we have, this is just really clean. Like it's a sell model setup.
Yep. That's our extreme. Yeah. Okay.
Really
absolutely
clean.
Yeah. So this, if you guys are understanding it right, this is our lower low, this is our lower high, and this is our extreme pullback, right? So market made a new low, right? Potentially the extreme pullback would be in here. This maintains structure bearish to make a new low.
And right? I wouldn't be surprised if we pull back in there at some point.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Well, not only that, but you can just see the clean imbalance, right? I mean, there's reason for it. We have inefficient price action. It's very it like grabs your eye, you know.
Well, it's also
So
distro BC, ST,
yeah,
UT,
yep, there it is right
UTAD,
there.
and
Yeah,
then
yeah. So this was a 4-hour distribution right here.
yeah,
You
very
know,
clean too.
so I mean, you can see the trading range, right? You can see the trading range. Your up thrust, UTAD. These are all LPSYs, LPSYs. You know, major sign
then
of
we'll,
weakness, and then we came down.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
so
beautiful.
yeah. So ideally, the buy, if the buy presents itself, even though we're so bearish, I am willing to take the buy because I can see the reasoning behind it, right? I can see why they're accumulating orders down here, right? To take the market higher. So in this instance, right, what I would be waiting for is we have our trading range, right? If we break above the trading range, all right, it's going to confirm for me the type 2 schematic. So what I would be waiting for is an LPS entry, ideally probably somewhere like in here, you know. So ideally I'm looking for something like this to go higher. All right. But we have to, you know, we have to trade outside and create that sign of strength. If we reject here, then I would just be waiting for the spring to take out all the lows, a break of structure, right? And then the entry off the test, which would be right in here, you know, obviously off the mitigation of that candle that created it. Okay. So that's, you know, look, it saved my alerts. Why did it save my alerts, but not my stupid drawings, man?
Updates.
Yeah.
Hey, can I answer Jordan's question real quick?
Yeah. What's up? Go ahead.
It's a good question. The way you want to recognize is it's very simple. So you just have to be able to recognize a schematic within a schematic. So what happens is, let's say you get a selling climax, automatic rally, secondary test, or secondary test in phase B, and then you're waiting for that secondary test in phase B spring, and you want that. But what ends up happening is you get this point, and then here somewhere you start getting accumulation, right? You start getting an accumulation break of structure, and it runs away.
My bad.
So this right here is the difference between 1 and 2.
Yes. Yep. Yeah.
Right.
So ideally, in a perfect world, I mean, in a perfect world, I love type 1s because they're the easiest. There's no guessing.
Yes,
There's no
100%.
guessing. You wait for the FU candle, the spring or the UTAD, and then from there, wait, break a structure, take the trade. You know, it's that simple. All right.
I wouldn't look. I would not be looking at anything but the type 1 because it's just easy to trade. Type
it
2
is. It is
difficult.
tremendously easier to play off of. So
You have to be much more experienced. Like, I don't know how to read type 2s. Not properly, at least. I can recognize them after the fact, but I could never take a trade from it.
Yeah. Well, so the only trades I take from them are because you know how like there are type 2s that happen that do not break structure. You know, they don't make the, you know, ideally, like if this came down a little lower and then broke structure, you would say that this was the LPS right here. But I'm not taking that trade. You know, I would take the trade for the break above that takes the new high and then comes back into somewhere in the lower, you know, the lower high. So that's the only way I'm taking it. You know, which means I miss out on a lot of trades, right? I miss out on a lot of the schematics that are type 2s, you know, but it is what it is. You know, it's no, you know, no harm, no foul, you know.
They're subjective, highly arguable. It becomes confusing
exactly.
in your mind.
Yeah.
You want to keep it simple.
Yep. You can have 4 people in the room looking at the same schematic on a type 2 and 4 different entry points and analysis. So it's just that, you know. So that's GN, right? That's what I got on GN. Let's take a look at GU. So GU is all right. I know a lot of people were looking at GU as a distribution schematic. I'll tell you right now, I'm not. Like maybe I started to, but to me, this is just they obviously the market was manipulating price to stay in this range for a reason.
It's just the only clear thing that I see, and I was looking at it 20 times. The only clear
here. Yeah, let me go to here. This is
Yeah.
oh, bro, I didn't even save the son of a gun.
The only clear thing that I see is we see this accumulation that happens here. We get this break of structure right above here, which confirms the accumulation, and then we get a nice, really nice clean test once again, and a really clean test here again, and then we take off. right? This is the only thing that I see. I see an accumulation. I don't see, like, this is just, the price action is very messy for a clear distribution. I mean, it could be one, but this price action is impossible to trade.
Yeah. Yep. No, and I agree. You know, it honestly, it sucked, you know.
This we
So
missed.
oh,
We should have been in this trade, I think.
which
I
one?
wa-
Off the
this
buy?
one here. Yeah, because we had to clear equal lows. We took
Yep.
liquidity. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
know where the candle was, but I think we should have been in this trade.
Hold on. It was, I think I went down to I think it was like a 3-minute.
Like, in hindsight,
Yeah.
looking at it, we should have just
Uh,
seen that as a clear accumulation and disregarded everything that was
Yeah,
happening.
but you know what? So like when you're looking at the accumulation, we didn't break structure though. That's the problem.
No,
You
but
know?
we did. Look, these 2 points here, right? Like, because it's how we
Because
read
this
it.
was the test.
Yeah.
This was the test. You know what I mean? So, well, I guess, yeah, because if you called this the lower low and this the lower high, we did break it. So on the 15 we did, but on the 30-minute, this is all one candle, you know? So that's honestly, like when I was looking at it here.
No, but you're in replay mode right now. You're in replay mode. Hold on. Get
Yeah,
out of replay mode and you
I
can
am.
see where the
Yeah, I am. Yeah. No, it came right into it.
came back into
Yeah. Yep. No, it did. It
this
did.
this area here. And
Oh,
we
that's
had
why
the
we didn't. Hey,
equal
that's why we didn't catch it. 4 o'clock in the morning, bro. That's why we didn't catch it.
No, but this entry. What time was that entry right there?
This one right here, 7
Yeah.
o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, that entry
Yeah.
we should have been looking at. That's
Yeah.
the thing, because
Yeah.
we had every confirmation in the world.
Yeah.
It just, I was
Well-
trying to make sense of this whole thing, and it just wasn't making sense in my mind, so it was difficult to.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you looked in here, but there's no candle that played off of.
Nothing.
Nothing. All it did, and it realistically, I thought at one point it created equal lows, but you could see just a smidge. It was like 2 pipettes that it went down. You know, so
could
I
be
don't know if
different.
that's just like broker slippage but all the
Yeah.
brokers had it, you know. So, but I would have, yeah, there was no I wouldn't have been filled because the 1 minute was down here, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, but we did ultimately break structure, right? We broke, you know, we were bullish, or we were bearish at one point, but we are now completely bullish, right? We've broken all the highs, we've taken all this out. You know, so now when we're looking at structure, right? This was the low, high, low, and now
Just
we're
structure, basically,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
It was just
exactly.
structure play.
So, you know, I would be looking, ideally, there's a couple of points of interest that I'm looking at. This 4-hour candle right here lines up around this 15-minute. Obviously we have imbalance in there. You know, there is a 2-minute candle down in this wick right here. There's a 2-minute
would
candle that I've got my eyes on. And it's right here. You'll see it. It's this 2-minute candle right here. All right. This 2-minute candle right here has my interest on it. Just the way the market reacted from it, right? Though, you know, we can see this is where we took those lows over there. All right. We immediately come up, we mitigate out of this, come up, this mitigated out of that candle. And then from there, we just have really clean price action. And then obviously the takeoff, right? So we can see that institutions really got in behind here to take this price up. All right. So for me, the 2-minute is, you know, obviously this is probably the first area that I want to see us come back into. All right.
Yeah, I
Um,
would put a limit
yeah,
on
yeah.
there and just let it ride.
Yep. Yeah. Because even realistically, your risk on it is very small, right? Your risk would only have to be six pips, right? It would be 6 pips. Okay. And then obviously, I mean, if you just take it right back and to make a new high, you're looking at 100 pip. That's a 16-1. I personally, you know, I've got higher targets.
It's gonna
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, I have higher targets. You know, this is the 2020 high right here, and then this is the 2019 high. I'm expecting those to get taken. All right. You know, so that's ultimately what I'm looking at. All right. You know, I mean, just up to this high, you know, if you go to the 2019 high, we're talking 145 pips. You know, that's a 22-1, 23-1. So I'll tell you right now, I'm personally going to put a limit off of that 2-minute candle. All right. I'm going to put a limit on it. For me, it's worth it. And then just take it higher. We'll see. Obviously, we're going sideways here, potentially maybe a small little distribution that's going to come down and hopefully tap into this 2-minute candle before going up. All right. So this is something, like GU likes to get that 3 a.m. London Open spike down and then the rally. So that's what I'm ultimately going to be looking at. All right. On the call tonight, is possible, can you show a step-by-step kind of like how you start to identify the schematic? See an overall higher time frame schematic and lower time, which one you could. So the higher time frame always takes precedent, and you just want to trade where you're at. So if you have a perfect example is go to Euro GBP on the weekly time frame, you're going to see a distribution schematic, and then inside of that weekly schematic, you're going to find all kinds of smaller time frame distributions that you can play down. Okay. So, but so GU for me, this is the first area I'm going to be looking. And then if that doesn't work out, ideally, there is a lower target in here, but for me, it would be, it'd be a break of structure. So this maintains that bullish structure. That's kind of why I'm looking at it. But GU's just been a roller coaster, man. I mean, this has just been all over the damn place, so that's what I'm looking on for GU. Okay. The other one I'm looking at is, let's see, hold on. Bear with me here. Okay. The other one I'm looking at, let's see, what were we looking at? We were looking at, did you want to look at AU? US 30? Do you have your chart on US 30? What do you want to look at on US 30?
Me? I didn't annotate US 30.
Whoever this guy, you want to sell US 30 from up here? Okay. I mean, you can. I'm not looking at US 30 for a sell up there until tomorrow morning. I could care less what US 30 does right now. I personally don't trade US 30 until New York session. It's just one of my things. It's one of my trading rules.
Let's ask, whoever posted that, like, just give us, what's the logic behind this?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not an upthrust.
Yeah. So here, like, I have the same thing, but this is a secondary test.
Yeah.
All right. This is my upthrust. And the reason is, so the upthrust has to get an upthrust, right? You have to go above the buying climax and your secondary test. All right. So this to me is not an upthrust. It's simply just a secondary test. Okay. I would now, just change. Yeah, I would change that. That's not a UTAD. Move that over here and just move this up here. Okay. 4 hour. Yeah, I agree. We are seeing that, right? We are seeing that. But just, so this is how I see it, right? The upthrust has traded to 50% of the trading range. So we can very easily create a UTAD now. All right. So that's personally why I'm not looking at trading anything in here yet. All right. At least not till New York session. I want to wait till New York session. And that's just because right now the market's not open. It's all the algos, and I would rather trade it off of, the key thing. So yeah, I mean, if you want to take that off of there, sure, go ahead and take it. Like I said, I'm not taking that. I'm not looking at that trade right there. I'm not going to take it off of that. Odd CAD. I mean, yeah, odd CAD's potential, I'll be honest, I'm indifferent to odd CAD right now, because I've tried for the last 2 weeks inside of this schematic to try to sell the thing down. And I've just had really bad time with it, a lot of break evens. So I do agree. We are in a schematic on it. It's just not a very clean schematic. All right. Like this real quick. I mean, like this sign of weakness trades way beyond, right, our trading range. So for me,
I'd say that's a automatic rally.
Yeah. Well, this down here. So yeah, that's like the trading range, but NZD CAD for me is in reaccumulation. So I would argue that this potentially is going to be in reaccumulation as well, yeah. Wow. Yeah. NZD CAD. Okay. Yeah. I've got a similar thing. I just don't know if it broke structure yet. So real quick, let's look at NZD CAD. So this NZD CAD for me is real easy. So this is, look at this. So this is why this is a good example, right? So I said this in the group earlier. I was looking at distro, right? But the fact that we created a creek, all right? We created our creek. Come on, annotate. We created our creek. Oh, for the love. Okay. We created our creek and we left the trading range. Really didn't give me a lot of hope that we were going to come back and test off of this over here to then drop. Okay. So as soon as we got this and then we get the break, okay, of the UTAD, confirms to me that this is reaccumulation. All right. To me, this was reaccumulation all day long. The minute we got that. All right. And then you can see off the, what time frame was it? The 1 hour? Yeah. So what we did was once we broke this high, we came into the 1 hour, right? We came into the 1 hour candle. And for me now to take an entry, I'm going to need a new high to be formed. Okay. So what I'm looking at the 15-minute candle right here. I think that's probably what you had too, right? The 15-minute candle. I'm looking at this 15-minute candle. All right. Is what I was looking at to take it higher. Oh, wrong one. But I need a new high. Okay. I need us to create a new high because at this point, I'm not taking it off of this because we haven't made a new high, right? I would need a new high and then place something off. So obviously we're down here now. So I have an alert up here. When we create a new high, then, potentially this candle right here is something I like to see. Maybe that's going to be the candle I play off of. Maybe something inside of that to take this higher. And the reason I want to take it higher, I mean, it's pretty clear, right? We have on the 4 hour, we have this 4 hour candle right here, right? I mean, this is all the daily candle as well, but we have this last up candle that took a ton of liquidity from the left before the massive drop off, right? So we have a lot of inefficient price action here and stuff. Okay. So this is ultimately what I'm looking to play into and then potentially see if we're going to distribute out of that. All right. But yeah, for NZD CAD, I'm personally looking at reaccumulation. But I'm not taking an entry, right? The clean entries would have been obviously in here and then obviously off of this 1 hour candle right here. But I would, I'm not looking for anything until we break and make a new high, right? We have to follow structure because now if we break below here, right, we turn bearish, right? We turn bearish. So, and at that point, this can turn into now a complete different distribution schematic. All right. But so right now I'm just going to let it play out. I'm going to see if we make a new high or if we're going to break structure. All right. Yeah. Okay. Does that kind of answer your question on NZD CAD?
Also,
yeah,
you have to kind of look at it from the perspective of the schematic number one finished. So once we broke beyond the automatic rally, it finished. And what we did is we technically started to reaccumulate. Like anybody trying to sell from the UTAD extreme at this point, the schematic is done.
Yeah.
Okay, what you want to do is you want to catch a test or you want to catch something that's still inside the range from the UTAD sell. As soon as you get out of the range, you have to be careful. You can't just start, selling every single UTAD as soon as you get out of the range. I'm not, whoever posted that chart up. So
ideally, when we created this, when we created this price action in here, that's when I would have liked the test, right? When we took this low here, so this area right here, I would have, and we almost did, right? We created equal highs though. So I had once we broke below this structure, that's when I put my order limit to sell it here. but we just never got it, and then obviously the schematic fulfilled itself once it left the trading range. So once this here happened, essentially the schematic is fulfilled. It's done. It properly distributed out of these, out of this position, you know. So, now, like I said, now to me, this is reaccumulation. I'm just waiting for the confirmation, which for me is going to be a new high, right? We need to make a new high, and then I would potentially play off of something in here. All right. Um, okay. So that is that. What's the, did we talk about Euro GBP?
EG and AU.
Okay. So EG, hey, did you look at this? What happened in here? I was on Zach's session and we went into it. So this in here on the 15-second was a clean distribution right in here.
So hold on. 15-second. I mean,
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah. But that,
It
I mean,
was-
you could see it from the 1 minute. I mean, it was a clean distribution.
Yeah.
That was clean distribution. So, I mean, realistically, that would have been an awesome trade. I think when he sent me the chart earlier tonight, it was a 1.2 pip stop loss, that ran for, 42 pips.
Yeah,
so
but
it was
how do you sell? Like it happened, you would have had to catch it within like a 3-minute range. Like my
Yeah.
alert went off, and I was expecting it to come into our 12-hour candle at least.
Yeah.
If we're
Well,
looking for any kind of sells.
So here's my thought. I don't know if you looked at it, but I am
did.
potentially looking to see a reaction that we get off of that. I'm not going to put a limit order, but if we do trade into it and I start to see some lower time frame, I think that we may be, just because the way we came up into that area, we took 2 sets of equal highs, right? We took this right here. Hold on, let me go to the 30-minute. We took this right here and we took this right here, right? So we took all those equal highs. Now I still have that 5-minute up here and that 1 minute extreme that we were looking at. But ideally, if we do come up into here and I see some lower time frame distribution, I'd be willing at least to try to take it,
Yeah, I mean, it's you could. It's just it's against every, like, it has no order flow, no structure, no
well, let me think
POI
about it.
really.
Yeah, because you know what? Technically, we
Yeah,
man,
just
yeah. That I can delete that because that never happened. Yeah. So on EG, yeah, EG is potentially we're looking to sell this, right? Like I don't know if, like I said, so I use this as an example, like higher time frame, and I think it's on a Wanda. Let's see. Yeah. All right. So EG, we are in a distribution on the weekly time frame, right? I personally have been tracking EG since August, right? Which I've just been on and on and on, and EG's definitely given us some really nice sells. So fast forwarding to where we're at now, right? The 2 areas that I'm personally looking at, let me go here. Okay. The 2 areas that I'm personally looking at for EG. All right. And we can delete this right here because this is all taken. All right. There is a 5-minute candle right in here. Okay. There's a 5-minute candle in this price action. And then when you come up into this 1-minute candle, you're going to see equal highs right here. Okay. You're going to see equal highs. And then you're going to see this 1-minute wick. All right. That is my second point of interest that I want to look at and play off of. I'll tell you right now, if we get up here, I am going to throw a limit order on it. All right. I will throw a limit order off of that 1 minute. And obviously my targets are all day long, these equal lows sitting. Hold on. All day long, my targets are these equal lows right here. Okay. I mean, that is a huge run. We're talking from that 1 minute open, that is 175 pips to my first target off of potentially a 2 or 3 pip stop loss. Okay. So that's what I'm looking at. for EG. I'm looking for sells. I just need to wait for the confirmation on it. I don't think, ideally, if we can get a distribution, into this 5 minute, like I have here, that's what I want to see. All right. But if not, this 1 minute is definitely where I'm going to put a order limit on. Okay. Yeah. So I'm personally, this is what I'm looking on EG, and I'm targeting lows, right? These equal lows right here are going to be my first targets. All right. So ideally I want to see us trade up, show some distribution, right? And then I want to come and target these equal lows. All right. This is where, this is obviously, I've been waiting for this for a while. We just keep bouncing off these equal lows. There's a ton of money in the forms of orders. I mean, like I see a lot of people that are posting, support. A lot of retail trader mindset that I see, they're buying off of these points. And the way we've just, so beautifully have traded down on EG. This is the last point right up here. This is the last point before the big, before the next leg down. And, this is the low. So all this here is just noise, right? It's nothing. This is your high and this is your low. Okay. So ideally all we did was we pulled back, we tested it again, and now we're pulling back again. So that's ultimately what I want to see. I want to see a sell from this area, and I'm looking at 90-20 is that 5 minute open that I'm looking at. All right. That's what I'm looking at. What do you got? You got anything to add on that, Vic? Vic, are you there? Hello. Did I lose you? I think you got to unmute yourself, bro.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, I'm looking at the extreme 1 minute open, like that, the highest of the third that you have.
Yeah.
Because that's where
you're talking right here.
Yeah, that's where that's where the whole thing started, and they
Yeah.
left a really nice imbalance in there.
Yeah, this is, so I have it marked off, and you guys can, go back and look at it. It is right there. Look at that. You can see that, like, this would be the extreme right here. That is the point where they traded up one last time. And then they literally jumped out the window, right? They jumped out the window and price just melted. Okay. So that is obviously the last point where they're going to have to come back and
Go 2 minute. There's a candle there. Uh, 3 minute. I don't remember which candle it is now, but I know it's clean. 4. There's got to be 1 or 5.
No, the 1 minute is what I marked, Yeah, the 1 minute's what I marked.
Yeah, hold on. I got to check my chart once.
Yeah. So anyway, that's ultimately what I'm looking on EG. Just trying to think what else I had. NTD CAD, EU. So like EU right now, EU I'm bullish on. I am personally looking.
Hey, Mike, it was the entire 1 minute candle, not just that last. It's like the entire range of that last candle.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. Yeah.
Not the little one.
So it's the 3 put together or whatever it was.
It's basically.
Hold on. Yeah. So it's like
it's like from the bottom.
Yeah.
So, right. It's the entire. Yeah. Put it down. Go down all the way to here. The candle, like where the imbalance starts.
Oh, okay. Right here. Talking that?
No, hold on. See, you're looking at sell to buy candles. I'm looking at this. I'm looking this candle.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, right here. Okay. Yeah. All right.
because that's where the imbalance.
Right. Yeah. So
essentially starts.
everything from here, this is all imbalance
Yeah,
here.
it just this imbalance here is going to get filled.
Yeah, I
It's
got you.
gonna be-
I got you, bro.
don't remember what the stop loss is, but it's not too bad.
Hold on. Yeah. So. All right, there we go. Yeah. So that's the 1 minute you're talking. I think we had that marked up like that.
That's
Um,
I remember sending it.
No,
I
no,
mean,
you know
I
what it
we were
is?
looking at it.
It's
Yeah.
Trading View, bro. It's Trading View. But yeah, so yeah, it's only, let's see that. So the entry on that is 61 and the top of the wick is, yeah, so it's a 7 pip stop loss, and obviously that taking that high would change structure dramatically. So, I would be 100% willing to take a limit order off of that as well. When market mitigates out of a 1 minute and in an area that the extremely premium. So when they mitigate out of a 1 minute and area extremely premium, I guess that's where market leaves relatively equal lows and highs. I mean, yeah, you could say that, because if they're going to come back to mitigate it, right, it would appear that it would be like equal highs and equal lows, So I mean, it's all, you got to think about it all as in the price action, right? So typically when they mitigate, it's a quick mitigation, right? They're not lingering, right? It's not you're going to get an immediate reaction away from it, because what essentially what they're going to do is, let's just say they come up to this extreme up here, right? The market's going to trade up, right? Trade up, mitigate out. So you're going to get an engulfing candle to go up, and immediately there's going to be an engulfing candle down, showing an immense amount of selling pressure and selling orders. You'll be able to tell where an institution put a lot of money to take it down, right? You're not going to get like this stuff here where it comes up and it's literally just lingering there, right? It's not lingering. The mitigations are very precise, like that's ultimately why when you see in a schematic, you'll see like it'll be a wick, it'll be a wick to wick, mitigation, right? Because it's happening so quickly, and it's extremely clean. That's ultimately what you're going to be looking for. All right. All right, so that's like EG's wrapped up. I mean, I know what I kind of want to see on EG. I know where I want to see it. Like I've got the 3 points, and ideally, like I said, it's one of the things EG likes to really react during London session, and then that London crossover. Okay, so that's where I would be waiting for it. All right, what else you want to talk about, bro? You want to do EA? Like, I don't want to do EA just because I'm a little upset with EA.
I think EA is just a really great example for everybody to see, because there's a lot of confluences that happen and they were really clean.
Yeah. Yeah. So real quick, we can break down EA real quick for you. So EA, and I'll tell you like my experience with EA. So my first thing that I did with EA is I had this 15-minute candle marked off here. Okay. This was clean as far as structure went, right? So we made a low and then we broke the lower high, right? So we came in, made a low structure, then we reaccumulated. Okay. This ultimately looks just like accumulation. We sprung, we jumped our creek, and then we ultimately broke structure, right? If this was
Can I do top down? Like, let me share my screen.
yeah.
I want to do
Yeah,
a
go
top
ahead.
down.
Go ahead.
I have something really clean on it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
And then I'll talk about the entry that never happened. Well, that
Give me
happened, but never.
Give me
Hold on, where are you at, bro?
Give me
I
the
got you.
right.
I got you.
Yeah. So, just
go ahead.
I highly recommend for everybody.
It's all yours, homie.
I just think EA is so great. I highly recommend for everybody to go back and back test this multiple times, because EA was a wonderful example of exactly. Hold on one sec, guys. Hold on, guys. Please. Sorry, my daughter is like my father-in-law came to visit, so my daughter's playing with him. Yeah, it's okay. So when we're looking at EA, and this is what basically we want to see, because there's a couple of people that messaged me asking me, like, why would we look at any pair and why would we even be considering to look counter trend? So EA, you guys can tell, is technically very bullish. Like this last bullish, like we're bullish, came up very bullish. And then we came down, no particular place of interest, but what became interesting is we started to range sideways. And here, I'll make my chart bigger. So for when we're looking for schematics, we're essentially looking for price to start ranging sideways. Now, a lot of people are going to start trying to label a schematic, selling climax, automatic rally, secondary test. And then for me, this is just order flow. We made a low, we made a high, we made a higher low, we made a higher high, and then higher high, and we made another higher high, and then now we've made another higher low, and we're potentially going to go to a higher high. So that is the entire reasoning behind why we potentially might want to buy EA. Because look, we're walking up. That's it. So here's what happens in EA. EA makes this higher high, and now we're only paying attention to what's happening inside this leg. It's starting to walk down. We're seeing it walk down. Now, mind you, I'm paying attention to the 4 hour. So right now on the daily, it's walking down. It's walking down and it's starting to taper off right here. So you could see how aggressive price is coming to the downside, and then price is stalling. And look, 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5, like we're 2 weeks, price has stalled. We jump down into a 4 hour time frame. We zoom in a little bit into this entire.
There she is.
There she is, right? And you see it. Okay, this is where it becomes really clear. So what happens is price, if for anybody that's wondering what compression is when price doesn't just fall. Compression is when price falls, retraces, falls, retraces, falls, retraces. And you could see how compression eventually leads from falling and retracing to just sideways price action. This is what we get here. And this is where we start to build our schematic, because sellers are no longer in control and buyers are continuing to develop more and more and more interest. So now we start to build a schematic. There's no trade yet. Selling climax, automatic rally, secondary test, equal lows. We get a secondary test in phase B. Okay, and now is where we start to pay attention to what happens in price. 4 hour, jump into 1 hour. Now look what happens. We get into secondary test in phase B. We have a low, we make a lower high relative to structure, and then we fail swing to make a lower low, and we make a higher high. So once we do this inside 1 hour structure, order flow is changing bullish, right? Now, we are still trading inside a bearish leg. So we always need to be mindful of where we're trading. Now, here's what this is. Once again, I'm going to go through a lot of different things here, but we are turning bullish. And now we are trading inside a 1 hour bullish leg, inside a 4 hour bearish leg. So two things that need to be happening here. We're either going to respect the 1 hour bullish structure and break out of the 4 hour structure, turning 4 hour bullish, or we're going to disrespect 1 hour structure and we're going to break lower, turning 1 hour bearish once again, looking for a pullback to sell it down. Okay. Now, as you guys remember, in the higher time frame markets or fractal, exact same thing is happening. Price starts to compress and then it starts to move sideways once again. And schematic within a schematic, we get a selling climax, a secondary test in phase B, and we get a spring into our structural point of interest right here. Okay. Once, and this is a 15-minute. So inside a 15-minute structural point of interest, a 1 minute break of structure is good enough for us to trade from. Replay, 1 minute. This was just really, really clean. This is why I really wanted to share it. So look how we trade into it. Okay. No real schematic here. we are coming down into our 15-minute. How do we come down? Low, lower, high, lower, low, lower, high, equal lows right here. FU candle immediately leads to a break of structure. And if you guys look on the 1 minute, I don't know why I had this one marked up, but on the 1 minute, we have a very clean 1 minute candle right here that's left to mitigate. Nice and balanced 1 minute candle. We tap in and off she goes for 200 and too many pips.
Yeah, it was a, what was it, a 30, what did I say, 36 to 1? It was a 36 or 39 to 1.
So at this point, it's getting close to 100 to 1.
Oh, well, yeah, where it's at now. Yeah.
Now, I know there's a lot of variables and a lot of people are probably like, oh my God, what just happened? But highly recommend for people to go and back test this, like find all your variables and then study this specific chart. Very clean.
Go, Victor, go back to like where you had all the like on the 15, where you had all the schematics on the, like in the middle of the board. Yeah. Okay, so perfect. Yeah, now and just zoom in a little.
Stretch.
Yeah, zoom. All right, perfect. So, and the key thing that I always stress to people is, does it make sense for the schematic to build there, right? Like this right here was that, this right here was the reaccumulation with the 15-minute candle, right? That was my point of interest. And when we came in for the schematic here, the essential spring mitigated out of that 15-minute candle. Mm-hmm. So me personally, I had a limit order off of that. It was a 10-minute candle is where I had the limit order, but I had a limit order that was activated with a 3-pip stop. And that was my order because I want to say that this spring happened, during London session, right? I can't tell the time.
It was
New York.
It was midnight.
Yeah. So I wasn't on the charts, but my limit order was activated, so if, that's how I took the entry. It was like a 3.6 pip stop loss. And it was based off of the reaccumulation here, which had a point of interest, so one of the things like you're going
my bad. It wasn't midnight. I'm sorry. It was 12 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. But anyways.
Yeah. But so you just, when you're looking for the schematics, you're going to drive yourself mad looking on the 1, 5, 10, 15 minute time frame all the time if it's not in a logical place to have that schematic.
Yeah. You always, it's remember, structure first, and then how price comes into the extreme structural points that you've been able to identify. And then you have to look at the larger time frame or the larger picture to understand why price would want to go in the direction that you're trying to get it to go into. In my opinion, this is really clean. I've gone back and looked at this 3 or 4 times myself because I just think it's a wonderful example with a lot of different confluences coming into play. And Mike got lucky, he got into this trade. I personally didn't. It's unfortunate. I have another friend who got into this trade, and 80% since from Friday to Tuesday. I mean, for a lot of traders, this is something where their year is done in 2 days. Am I still on here?
Yeah. Nope.
Yeah. Okay.
No. EA was super clean, super clean.
Yeah.
And like I said, if you want something to back test EA over the last like 2 weeks, because this was something I had on my watch list. And if you guys have been following me, like I have been talking it on Zach's session, for the past 3 weeks, I've been stalking EA, so that's ultimately, like what my goal was. Was to get into EA, and yeah, it was a nice trade while I was in it. And obviously now I'm just looking for a re-entry to see if we can take it up higher.
And I know Mike shares a lot of charts, and he is probably the journal king of journaling. Like he is the ruler of the world. of journaling. But the reason he does it and the reason that, you know, we all spend on it is because of trades like this. Like y'all need to understand that you don't need to have a large account to risk 1%. You could have a $10,000 account and you risk 1%, which is $100, okay, off a $10,000 account, and you could be $8,000 in profit. This is absolutely insane. 1% risk, and this is why we do it, because eventually what you want to be able to do is catch, like, how many of these do you actually need in a year to be a really, really profitable trader?
Eh,
Right?
Well, and just to touch on it, like I shared it in the group with the position calculator that I had on there, and you guys saw that I risked $250, and where it was this afternoon was $9,700 in profit off a $250, risk.
If Mike held it for the entire $250, this was that would have been close
Yeah.
to $20,000,
Yeah, yeah,
right? Which isn't like, and that's a 1/4% risk that he uses, a quarter, which the entire risk, like if he hits stop loss, $250, most of us in this call have $250 to spare. I mean, right, more or less, without, losing sleep over it.
yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so that's what I really wanted to share. And on another call, we could maybe follow up on this and do another breakdown, because I think these are the kind of charts that we need to be looking for.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I used to burn $250 at the bar.
I love it, bro. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So what's the next one you want to look at? Because I think on my watch list, I think that might be all of them.
I don't know. Did we look at AU? That's the only one.
Oh yeah. Let's go to AU. So I was looking at it earlier, and I marked up some, like, a potential redistribution down into our buy area.
AU, hold on one sec. Dude, I've been looking at the screen so long today, I can't even see properly. Can't even see anything properly anymore. AU is, once again, there's nothing super clean on AU, especially the way that it's acting now. I saw, just kind of following price action, I see 1, 2, 3, and then I see 1 here. What I was really hoping to get is, I was hoping to get this, and I was hoping to get a shakeout into this liquidity sweep in here, and then hopefully we were able to draw a creek and then jump over creek and then maybe get an entry, something like that. But I don't even know what it's doing right now. Like, I honestly have no idea.
Yeah,
like, this is just, I don't even know how to trade stuff like this.
Yeah, I was hoping for redistro right here, right? I thought we were going to build the trading range, and shake out,
And you're going to sell it down, right?
right. Yeah.
It's RPI. Yeah.
Yeah. We just never got it.
At this point, we could say it's a reaccumulate, like, creek, but we don't have a proper.
Yep.
we don't
Creek.
have a
Creek is the trend line. That's all a creek is a trend line.
Yeah.
Creek or ice, depending on which way you're going, but it's all it is a trend line.
Yeah. And I don't know, it's building, like, it's the back and forth inside the trading range that's really annoying, because look, I have all these green circles. I'm like, I don't even know where structure is. I'm like trying to, like, is this structure, like, it's just getting something that was really, really simple. Like this was simple here, right? This was really simple. You see, you have the 3 thrusts up, 2 thrusts down. Here's your shakeout. Here's your little creek. Here's your breakout of the creek, and perfect test, whatever it came to mitigate here. And then price just didn't come back to anything. Like, it's been weird. I don't know. Yeah, price action has been weird this week so far. So yeah, I don't even know why we're looking at AU now that I'm looking at it.
Yeah, no. That's I had it on my watch list, but I didn't. It like when I saw it during Sydney's session just break above, I stopped looking at it. It's for me. There's just nothing. There's nothing clean on it.
No.
It doesn't make any sense. Do you think price action could be weird? No, the dollar index is throwing everything out of whack, DXY
and what do we have this week? What is it called? NFP.
Yeah. Well, it's NFP week, there's all kinds of, there's some Australian, the Royal Bank of Australia, Governor Lowe is speaking tonight. There's a lot of fundamentals going on. But at the end of the day, the dollar broke down below the low of our spring, which we assumed was accumulation. So we can argue, I mean, don't even have to argue, you can confirm that the accumulation failed, right? We are no longer in accumulation on the dollar index. So,
Hey, by the way,
anything,
DXY, I freaking, well, you and I don't remember. I think you and I were both in agreement, but we're coming for this.
for, oh yeah, absolutely. Those lows. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yep. Without a doubt, is it, 90 whole number. That's what I'm looking at, is 90 whole number. So I'm extremely bullish on everything XXX USD. I'm only looking for buys on Aussie USD, NZD USD, GBP USD, Euro USD. I'm only looking for buys, and that's honestly, that's why I was looking to sell dollar yen. That's why I was looking to sell dollar Swiss franc and dollar CAD, so, because it just makes sense. It's going with the technicals. The technicals are telling us go bullish, and it's that crazy.
And for
XAU
all
USD. Do you have a chart on XAU USD? Because I have nothing marked up on gold. Like,
on gold,
yeah, after
I mean,
well, someone was asking gold, so
the middle of freaking, like, I don't even know.
Yeah.
This is
after
this like
after the 1 minute accumulation that I caught, for me, I see nothing yet.
I was hoping we would start doing something when we were ranging, because this wasn't, and then we just came down hard, and 4 hour, I think this looks, there's nothing.
Yeah. I mean, I was looking for some distribution to take it down, like redistro.
What did we take? We took buys. Where did we take? Oh, here. There were buys in here that went from like a 1 to 10, and then
and then we dropped.
Yeah. That's the only point of interest that I had. Small, but that was it.
I mean, I would say that we're bullish, right? Just because of the dollar index, and I would be looking to come up and mitigate some of that imbalance, But as far as entries, like I don't see anything clean on gold.
Guys, gold is bullish. I mean, gold is going to go to like 3,000 or something. Like, it's going to be crazy, right? But because this is just a leg right here. From here to, sorry, I can remove my, from here to here is one leg, right? We could come from here, from where we are now, we could come all the way down to, we're not coming below this. I guarantee you this. There's no way we come below this and gold is going to go to 0. But we're not coming below this. But we could come anywhere inside this leg, anywhere. There isn't really any structural. I mean, look at this. There's no structure here. It's just up.
Yeah. I mean, nothing's clean. Like I said, we caught that 1 minute accumulation last week, I think. But other than that, like it really hasn't given me a reason to buy it. I think I want to say that there was a decent buy yesterday, but I just wasn't watching it when it happened. There was, and again, it wasn't a schematic. I think it just broke maybe like 15-minute structure, and it had some equal lows that it FU'd and then mitigated out of.
But once again, if you're just staring at a 5-minute chart, and we can all attest to this, then and you're just trying to catch every 5-minute break of structure, you're going to catch a lot of losses, a lot of break evens, and a few wins, because you're nowhere in the chart but the 5-minute price action, which is, we've tried trading like this before. It's just hard.
Hey, UJ missed my buy. I put a buy limit off that 1 minute. UJ missed it, and it jumped the creek. Unbelievable. Oh well, it is what it is, man. It's all right. It's that Asian session.
Was it? Did we say 1 minute or did we say 5 minutes?
No, well, either way, it didn't come anywhere low enough.
I think he came to the 5 minute. I'm on UJ right now. Hold on.
Let's see.
Yeah, dude. The 5 minute.
Yep, it did. It did.
Yeah, it's the 5 minute.
It
The
did.
1 minute. The 1 minute is the sweep, but so here,
It left the equal lows.
right here. See, I had it. I had it marked.
It left the equal lows though. You
Yeah.
know. So
Yeah. And this is why this is like, look at this price action, guys. Like see it. Look how slow we're coming. Let's see. How long did it take for us to come from this high to the low? It took us, let's see, 7 hours and 30 minutes. Now, how much time is it taking us to come from the low to the exact same point in the high? 1 hour and 40 minutes.
yeah.
5 times less time. So who's in control?
Yeah, buyers all day long. I mean, yeah. And we try, like I said, we tried getting the reaccumulation earlier, man. They just were playing these games, but
Yeah.
I honestly wouldn't put it past them that they're just going to range until tomorrow and like this. Like it's just going to be ups and downs.
Yeah.
You know,
And we had no entries on UJ either. Like, look at it. There was no
Yeah.
1 minute break. I would not be putting a limit on this 5 minute.
no,
I was watching it. There was no 1 minute break structure. There was nothing.
yeah,
There was no confirmation.
no,
of
no.
entry,
It's
that.
just one of those, man. It's one of those. BTC. Yeah, I'll put it up on YouTube. So BTC. Yeah, I mean, I caught a nice sell yesterday or today. I caught a nice sell on it this morning.
Do you want to go through it?
No, I mean, we could cover the sell. Yeah, it was just a mitigation.
If you want to. I mean, I'll stop my share. I don't do BTC.
Actually, I can't because none of my markings are there. But hold on, give me a sec here. Did you stop sharing?
I did.
Let me see. So yeah, BTC. Like, I mean, I'm overall bullish. I just don't remember where my sell was. So the 45 minute. I know. So I caught the sell right here. This was the sell I caught. And I want to say it was off of maybe a 10 minute. I don't, it was off the break of structure, right? When we took this low here and this right here, I was playing off of something in here. And I want to say it was this. I want to say it was like this 15 minute. I had an alert here with the stop loss above it. So I took it down and I ended up closing out at 18,500, just the whole number. I mean, it was a decent, like a 6-1 for me. I personally, I mean, I see we need to come down a whole lot lower, you know. At the very minimum, I would like to see us trade back. Where was I looking? Yeah, I would like to see us trade back into this price action here. It was ugly accumulation, but we just left a lot of inefficiencies, and there's a point of interest I got down here. So like around like 16,600, 16,700 is where I'm looking. That's ideally where I'd like to potentially take another buy, right? Any key price action after the schematic is complete. Price takes off, how far can we expect it to retrace? So yeah, when price does take off, like what we look for are these key points of interest that price needs to come back to mitigate on. You know, so like the first thing I look for is confluence in multiple timeframes. So an example would be, let's just say hypothetically price takes off, and then in between our discount range, like the 61.8 to like the 88.6. Okay. I'm looking for, if we have a 5 minute, a 3 minute, and a 30 minute candle all line up evenly, and there's imbalance on all those time frames in that area, right? That's a high point of interest for me. That's where I'm looking for price to return to mitigate, to go higher. You know, so that's ultimately how I decide where the points of interest are. And then, you know, obviously if it's, you know, what I'd like to see price do is, as price expands, I want to see a nice retracement, and I want us to see us get really nice and tight coming back into it. And then, you know, one of my main confirmations, if I'm going to take it, is we mitigate out, and then we break like that 1 minute structure. And then I would just take the entry off that 1 minute or 5 minute structure. You know, that's ultimately how I like to play the pullbacks. You know, I'll just sit there and watch price action as we do it. and as it comes back into the point of interest, if this is the lower high, I just wait for the confirmation of bullish structure, break, and then, play off of whatever is here, and then we go, you know. So, oh, Eurocat is up near that 10-minute, man. Eurocat is near that 10-minute. Yeah. So that's ultimately what it is. Yeah. XRP, I'll be honest, I didn't look at XRP this week just because BTC was just giving me some beautiful freaking, oh, I see. Look at that. It came right into that 15-minute candle. Look at that. Yeah. That was a clean point, obviously these are going to go higher. I can, just by the manipulation that's happening, like everyone is buying, BTC, everyone's buying XRP now because of the big run. So yeah. But, that's kind of everything I was looking at. You have anything else you were looking at, Victor?
No. Just messy price action.
Yeah.
That's all I've been looking at this week.
Yeah. So you see this right here. This is not what I want to see. Right.
No.
That's an example of what I do not want to see. All right. I want to see potentially, like this is what I want to see right here. Okay. And then I want us to get us really nice and close and tight. And then potentially that's where you're going to start to see the schematic form, right? Get an R up thrust, our UTAD, break structure, come down, and then we play, and then that's where I get into the sell right here. That's what I want to see. The way, and this is honestly once, and I can speak for Victor too, because I know once we stopped just playing off of, okay, this is a IC candle, this is where we're going to put our limit order and just put a limit order. Once we stopped doing that and actually started paying attention to how price is reacting and how price is moving, we started taking less losses. Like, do I still take losses? Yeah, absolutely. Because you know what? Sometimes the risk is worth the reward, but I'm still very, very cautious about what I'm doing, like for me to take 10 trades in a week is a lot. I don't take a lot of trades because I wait for those perfect setups, because when I get them, they're like EA 1 to 40, a 1 to 46 R to R, so, over trading is a big thing. I probably spend, I could tell you, I spend at least 40 hours journaling and marking charts and all that a week. I probably only spend 15, 20 minutes a day actually putting in orders and deciding if I'm going to take a trade or not, so that's just something, especially for people that are having trouble with consistency. That's one of the things that's really helped me is understanding. Yeah, look, we're just going to range, bro. This is just going to come all the way back down. We're going to play. It's going to come back. And I personally, I wouldn't look at UJ until maybe London session, because this Asian session is just going to be manipulating all this junk. I guarantee you to this. Yeah, we created equal highs. Look at that. So, yeah, I don't know if I'd even look at UJ right now. I would just walk away, and that's just another thing going towards like mindset and stuff. If it's not clean, if you can't understand exactly what's going on, go to another screen. Me and Victor always have this joke that like if the price action is horrible and we're trying to squint and turn our eyes sideways to make sense of something, you come over to your watch list, and when you come over here, you see like the X's, you just click the X and it takes it off your watch list, and you never have to worry about the damn thing again.
Yeah, and guys, Mike and I repeat this all the time. Just be patient. It's really difficult because you have charts and candles and stuff moving in front of you all the time. This is probably one of the most difficult things for all of us to do. But when you want to catch a good trade, you need to have an objective view on things. And if you're trying to catch every single leg, every single candle, every single move, you're going to have a really difficult time handling your emotions. The best thing to do is be really patient, wait for the move to come. It only takes one to get a really nice R&R, and then you could just kind of relax and do whatever you want for the rest of the week or the month.
Yes, absolutely. I can tell you right now, if I'm up, and like I said, I only do a 0.25% risk. Like if I catch like on day one on a Tuesday morning or a Monday morning, if I catch that 1 to 20, 1 to 25, I'm done for the week, and I just enjoy my week. Like I'll still journal, I'll still do stuff. But yeah, like I'm done. It's there's no point. I had a great week, so it honestly just comes to that. Um, yeah,
Hey,
yeah,
Mike.
yeah. Go ahead.
Hey, quick. So this journey of trading has been amazing, and it's been very rewarding. And aside, not even like money stuff, just like the journey itself. One part I'm stuck in though that I'm seeing is that, for example, I mark up my charts and do like these setups on my charts, but not always do I execute them. And lately, what I'm seeing is a lot of the markups I do hit they perfect setup, hit my take profit, and then the ones I do execute aren't the ones that hit.
Right.
And it's very frustrating. I'm
Do
just
you?
trying to understand what.
So this is honestly where I get my confidence from. All right, and Victor can attest to this. Um, so I have, even though I don't take a trade, I will still journal it. And I journal it. It goes into my book. It goes into my computer. I save it. And I can tell you, since I started trading Wyckoff and Smart Money in February of this year, I've got over 5,400 screenshots of charts. So that's how many charts I've back tested. And one of the things I do is, every time I'm at the gym or I go for my walks, I always listen to something trading psychology wise, right? Mark Douglas is my favorite guy to listen to. And the thing that always stuck with me was this. He tells this story about, you go to Vegas, right? And there's a guy who's making bets with you, and he's flipping a coin, right? And the coin is a head and tails coin, but it's weighted on the head side. So he can guarantee that 70% of the time it's going to land on heads, right? But 30% of the time you're going to lose. So if the payout is $50 every time it lands on heads, and $50 every time it lands on tails, you got to pay the guy who's flipping it. What are you going to call every time? And the answer is heads, right? Because your risk to reward is always going to benefit you. And I can tell you, like, I'm not afraid to lose. It's in our nature, right? As humans, that losing is bad. And I've learned to accept the losses because it gives me more information. Right now, I'm a lot more selective, and the reason I'm more selective is because I have a checklist. Right, when I back tested, there's like little things that I have to have present in order for me to enter into the trade. And if those things aren't present, whether the trade goes to take profit or not, if they were not present, I don't take that trade. And where that checklist came from, and where the like all that came from, is essentially the back testing, right? The screenshots, me spending hours looking at charts and saying, okay, when price does this, it always comes back to mitigate here, and this is where my stop has to be. Before I enter any trade, I understand where my risk is, where my take profit is, obviously how much risk I'm using. And it's not one of those, like, you're never going to see me actually run to my computer or my phone to try to enter a trade. It's a very methodic formula that I use, and a very stringent rule set. And that all comes back to just the organization of your profession, right, as a trader.
Can I add one thing to it, Mike?
Go ahead, bro.
And I 100% agree. The other thing that most traders make a mistake on, I mean, myself included, we don't differentiate between goals and targets. So a goal is to journal, let's say 100 entries. It doesn't matter whether you take the entry or you don't take the entry, you have to journal it. Okay, a target is a monetary compensation for some trade that you've taken, or some number of trades that you're taking. For me, goals are more important than targets. Targets come, like, if you want to turn a $10,000 account to a $100,000 account, if you can make a goal of journaling 25 positions a month, as I'll just take some arbitrary number, 25 positions a month, and every single time, let's say you take a position and it hits an SL, you've journaled it. So it doesn't matter if you hit stop loss, break even, or you won the position. Bottom line is you journaled it, right? So your goals should be around journaling. Targets will naturally get hit as your goals around journaling as you become more disciplined around your journaling goals. And this is where, this is why successful traders are successful, and the ones that are not are only focusing on targets and targets are not a good way to control your emotions and build an account.
Yeah. Nope. Couldn't have said it better,
Appreciate
man.
that, guys.
Yeah,
Thank you.
couldn't have said it better, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
I
was
mean,
really good.
I can tell you, like I said, I mean, I take my journaling seriously. You know, I break down for every trade that, whether it's a winner or a loser, there might be, you know, anywhere from 5 to 50 screenshots of just different angles of price action, different time frames. You know, like I write my emotions down, write my thoughts. You know, I like the progression, and you know, if you ever played football, you know, I always link it to, like, you know, the game film that you watch, you know, after the fact or before the fact of a game, you know, like understanding what the other team is doing, understanding how you reacted. And that's ultimately my goal is, you know, I understand that I'm not a perfect trader. Absolutely not. You know, I mean, listen, I lose, you know, there's some weeks where I lose more than I win, you know, but obviously it's made up because my losers are only quarter percents. My winners are, you know, anywhere from a 10 to 1 to a 50 to 1. So
And I don't know. I don't know, Mike. I don't know what you've gone through in the first year of your trading journey, because I only met you in the second year. But personally, also, you know, every day we get in front of the chart, we see a bunch of candles moving, so we feel like we should be taking a trade. Otherwise, we feel worthless for that day. Like it doesn't feel like we've done anything. Well, try journaling 2 or 3 trades for that one particular day, and try doing that for an entire week. And then when you are tallying up what happened during that week, if you have no journal entries and you did not take any trades, or you took a bunch of losses, well, you're going to feel like a bag of, you know, I'm not going to say what it is because this call's being recorded. It's going to be put on YouTube, but you're going to feel like a bag, okay, of doo-doo. But if you've taken 3 losses, but you've managed to journal 15 trades along the way, and you know you'll learn something from those 3 losses, and you've journaled 10 or 12 or 5 or 2, whatever that number is more, that turned out to be winners, but you didn't take those positions, you're going to feel really good at the end of the week because you feel like there's been good work that's been put in to that week, and you're going to feel a lot better going into next week.
Here's an example. These screenshots are from today only. And I took 2 trades. I took an S&P trade that I won, and I took 2 UJ trades that were break evens.
Okay,
And
I just
all
wanna
of
make-
these are screenshots from
That's
all
insane.
the other
That's
things that I was like looking at or marking or, you know, whatever, you know. So and this
That-
is honestly small. Like normally I have all 3 of my monitors that are full of them, and then I put them into my pending trades folders, you know, of just things that I'm currently looking at and, you know, where they are, you know. I mean, that's how it is, you know. I mean, like here's AJ. So just off of everything that I didn't do today, I already had 4 screenshots from probably last night that I marked up, you know.
Like
So
you're going to have to eventually write a book on how to
how to journal,
how to journal.
you know.
I'm serious.
Well, I
because
haven't. Listen, you guys haven't
I
even
don't even
seen.
know how you
I mean,
manage that.
Victor sees my Excel spreadsheet, but you guys haven't even seen like when I put everything into the Excel spreadsheet, you know, and I like, you know, put up the charts on that. So, you know, and then yeah, my binders. I have binders where I print out a lot of these screenshots and you know, catalog them into binders. You know, so it all. But that's. I mean, I do a lot of preparation for my trades. You know, I come prepared for the trade. You know, like if you ask me, you know, and we do it all the time. Like we'll ask each other, hey, what is AJ? Is AJ bullish or bearish? And I can go right down the list. Yeah, it's bullish on the weekly, bullish on the daily, bullish on the 4-hour. You know, because I've done the prep work for it. You know, I know exactly what it's going to do, and it's just a matter of now executing the trade. You know, and then of course, you know, when you do fail to execute because it missed by a pip or 2, or you woke up too late, you know, it does burn. I'll tell you that right now. I don't know how many times I send a screenshot to somebody and I'm like, the stupid thing missed it by a pipette, you know, or 2 pipettes. And it burns, you know, but at the end of the day, my bias was correct. The trade was great. I just, you know, I watched
Something
it from
to
the
celebrate.
sidelines. Yeah, I watched it from the sidelines, but it's still a great trade, you know, even though like EA, I'm out of EA, you know, but I'll tell you right now, I was like EA's biggest advocate for the last 3 weeks. I mean, you can go back in our Discord and look, and I've been talking about EA for 3 weeks, you know, and it's a great feeling because, you know, it's an accomplishment. Yeah, I was right about the bias. I was right about the entries. You know, I was right about all that. And that's just going to give me more confidence for the next trade, you know?
And you know, I'm going to use you as an example, Mike. It's something you and I have been talking about, but for example, something that particularly Mike, who, is always learning and working on, becoming a better trader, something that, and from my perspective, he needs to learn how to do is leave more runners. And, over the last 2 or 3 weeks, we've seen that come back and bite him. I mean, not in a bad way, because these are winning trades, but he closed them out too early. He wouldn't leave a 10 or 20% runner, and that could go for another 10 or 20%.
Yeah. No, it
right?
does. It does.
Overall, and yeah,
It does. It does. And you know what, that goes to like my psychology, because like the last 3-4 weeks, I'll tell you right now, like I've had a crap load of break evens, and it's because I'm in profit 60-70 pips. I take maybe a little bit of partials, and I want to let it run, and it comes like EU. I was up like 9-1 on EU, took some partials, came right back and hit me break even. And that's just the thing, like it's always that thing. The one that you don't let run is the one that runs.
Hey Mike.
Yeah,
Hello.
go ahead. Yep, go ahead.
Hey Mike, sorry for the interruption. I just want to ask you, what do you suggest for the newbie Wyckoff traders?
Say that again.
So what do you suggest for newbie Wyckoff traders? Like recently those guys who started for Wyckoff and everything. Do you have any videos that we can see or we can learn from?
So like, I personally don't have like actual videos. Like most of the Wyckoff stuff that I've learned is honestly like on my own like study. I could tell you right now, probably the best book for you to read is the Wyckoff Methodology book by Ruben Villahermosa. I mean, you could buy it on Amazon for like $20 US dollars. That was the first starting point for me. That was where I actually understood what each point in Wyckoff represented and needed to be accomplished with. And then from that, it was just collaborating with other traders and back testing. Like I was able to pick it up pretty quick. I could tell you, like Victor was in it before me. He we used to joke about it because I didn't know the terminology behind it, but I just kind of knew where the trades had to go to. But now obviously it's at a different level. Like I have a really, really good understanding of Wyckoff and what it's intended to do and why it's intended to do it. So understanding at that institutional level, what's happening really, really, one gives me that really nice R to R. But it took a lot of hours, like this isn't something that, me and Victor have learned in a day, I mean, like I said, I've been studying it since February, 40 to 60 hours a week. Just doing it over and over and over again.
When people ask me, they're like, what do I do to learn? I'm like, 6 months, 10 hours a day, go.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, there's no secret to this. You guys got 6 months and 10 hours a day, then that's what you need to do. Like you read, you try to find it in a chart, and as soon as you do, you journal it. Yeah. And then you do it all over again.
Yep. I mean, that's honestly, that's the truth. I mean, it's a very intricate understanding of market, analysis. And it's that reason for, I mean, otherwise everybody would be doing it, it does take a lot of perseverance, a lot of attention to detail, and it takes a lot of time. You're just, it's not just putting a trend line and saying when it breaks a trend line, wait for it to retest and sell it, the reason that break and retest works some of the time is because you understand where you are in the schematic, but it's one of those things that, it's very rewarding. I can tell you that. Like I have fun. I have fun trading Wyckoff because like understanding and giving you the indication of where the market's going to react, and then it reacts. Dude, you're spot on, and you can literally just hammer the markets up and down.
Yep. The first time I traded Wyckoff, it was an accident. I had a distribution and an accumulation type 1 sitting on my desk, and I would look at it once a day before I started the trading day, and I would look at it once again before I ended the trading day. And then what I would do in between, I would try to just draw it out by hand, just labeling it. And I always had the definitions beside me. And then one day I saw it. I never looked for it. We were still trading the same way that we were trading before.
Yeah.
And then one day I saw it on like a 5-minute chart. I don't remember. And I took the trade. I just took it, and it ended up being 18 or 19%. And it was by accident, but I trained myself to look for it, and then that was the first journal entry that I had for a Wyckoff schematic.
Yeah. No, I hear you, man. I hear you. So, well, listen, guys, it's been fun. I have to run though. I've got to go pick up my daughter from volleyball. So, this was awesome. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. I'm going to post this to my YouTube page. So, if you guys have any questions, by all means, you can reach out to me, and we'll try to answer some questions. If you're not in our Discord, we threw the link in the chat. Definitely, I would definitely suggest you jump into it. Alrighty. But other than that, I'll say it, good night. Thanks for jumping on, and enjoy enjoy your trading journey.
Yeah.
All right. You guys have a good one.
Later.